And Jesus said to them, destroy this temple, and I will build it up in 3 days. The Jewish people said to him, this temple took 46 years in construction, and you are going to build it in 3 days? But we were speaking about the temple of himself. And later on, the disciples come to believe, after his resurrection, what he has said. My dear people, in the first reading today, we come to the book of Exodus, when Moses, after brought the people out of Egypt, he came to the mountain of Zion. And there he entered into a dialogue with God, and through Moses, God gave his law. And today, we heard them read to us one after the other. And when Moses came from that mountain, he made a covenant by slaughtering some bulls, and after he take the blood before the offering of the victim, he sprinkle half of the blood on the Torah, that means on the book of the law, and then he sprinkled the other half on the people. And there he sealed that covenant that God made with them and renew it, that God will be their God, and they will be his chosen people. And what God said in the Torah, he said, love me with all your hearts, and shall not be another God before me. Do not mention my name in vain, and my Sabbath is mine. Give it to me. And those first 3 commandments speak about the relationship that we have with God. To really have him as number one in our life. And don't invent other gods. Today, our society, especially in this time that we are going through, we think that our money is going to save us. Little we know. Today you have it, tomorrow it's gone. And that's why he said to us, don't make money your God. Don't make alcohol or your drug or other things in this life. Because I am the one that have created you in my image. And I am a jealous God. I will not tolerate. Because for the 3rd and 4th generation, I will punish those who do not love me. But those who bestow, who observe the command I bestow my blessing upon them. And the people think, why we have what we have in the world? Sometimes we are doing, what God intends for us to do. We are paying the price of those who went before us. And we are going to let the next generation in 2 or 3 to receive the price of what we have ourselves has selected to do. And then God gave us the other 7 commandments. Honor your mother and father. Do not kill. Do not make adultery. Do not lie. Do not covet, whether your wife, your neighbor's wife, or other things that he has. And then the Lord speaks to us about that if we love him, we are going to love also his very image. Dear people, I cannot make it so straight to you. Don't tell me you love God when you are doing evil to your neighbor. Don't tell me you love God and you are to give the knife as soon as your neighbor turns around. Don't tell me, Father, you don't understand what they did to me. Because there is the sermon of Jesus. And today we are going to pray it at the very offertory. Forgive us, Father, as we forgive. My dear people, we cannot understand, and we will never understand God's love if we don't exercise it with one another. Because God does not begin there. God begins here. And if we love one another, we are helping each other to accept his love, and that is Jesus Christ. We cannot say that we love God, and we are ready with our tongue, especially our tongue. And this community is famous for that. The gossip that we do. sometimes with the action that we do, sometimes behind the person writing letters and destroy the character of the individual, sometimes speaking ill of the individual, and then we claim that we are united with God because we come to communion. And that's what the first commandment is all about. The first reading is all about. That we understand that the love of God has to identify itself in the love we have for others. And if we do so, we bring God's blessing upon us. Because the commandments are not 10 suggestions. And they are not there to choose and pick what we want. But they are there to guide us and to make us always on the tracks that lead us to our destination. That's why in the gospel today, Jesus was so furious. Many times we hear, "Oh Father, you don't imitate Jesus Christ. You have a word of strength and sometimes anger in your voice." Well, what do you think Jesus was today? He was happy and cheerful when he make a whip out of cords. Imagine if I take a piece of rope today and begin beat here and there, all of you here. You think that I am loving you? And he said to them, "Get out of my Father's house and do not make my Father's house a marketplace." Do we make our church a marketplace? Yes, we do. As soon as we go in and we see somebody, not even in a fashion, not even put yourself in the presence of God. And sometimes it's gossip. We have a great privilege in this parish. We have a hall. You want to talk? Go there. Say, "Father, this is there." "Well, this is the leaves 20 minutes ago." And that is exactly what we need to do, understand. This is a sacred ground. This is a place where we come to pray. And sometimes there are people who are going through a very hard time. Husbands who are dying of cancer. People who have lost their jobs. People who are not having good relationships. People who their children are causing them some trouble. They physically have received some bad news. And the only consolation we have is to kneel there or to sit there and to tell God about these things. And you don't need people to talk. And you don't need people to disturb you from there, because that's your privilege. If you want to talk, find another places. Find another room. Come in directly, who cares? If you are not afraid of Lucy. But the other thing is remember that we need to understand that this is a sacred ground. And we need to let people do what they have come here to do. And then we see the discourse of Jesus. He was not very happy with them because their hearts were closed. They did not understand him. And that's why he speaks about his temple. He said, "Destroy this temple." And believe me, he is talking about the temple of Solomon here, that Solomon took more than 40 years to build, all adorned in gold. Even the wood, his father David brought it from Lebanon. Many of you, when you have that cedar in your closet, smells so good. Huh? And even today the church asks us that the Blessed Sacrament within will have that smell of cedar. Because that is what the tabernacle is all about, is the temple of God among us, is the tent of God among us, whom we are on a journey. That's why Blessed Sacrament is like this, because he is not here for permanence. He is here on a journey. He is with us, journey with us. But I'd like to go today in that second reading and you see why that second reading is so powerful. Because Jesus himself has come, and has come purposely to tell us that he has brought good news from the Father.